Hello, No Man's Sky. £45 or $60 or euros roughly. Is it worth it? Well, I've been playing the game for a while. A few hours basically, that's all. And you'll see online my first look series of videos. And I'm wondering if that was money well spent for a game. It depends on what you want from the game, I think. There are some aspects of it that I enjoy and some aspects that I don't. And I guess different people are going to like different things, but the basic idea of the game is rather like Elite, the old 1980s game, or the new Elite Dangerous. You go around trading, making money, and I don't know, stuff like that, basically in space. The good thing about this is that it has 8 quintillion planets or some such for you to explore. So obviously you're never going to explore them all, and you'll probably have covered the variety of different types of plants, animals, and planets indeed fairly soon, I would have thought, looking at it so far. So what you do is you wake up with no memory of who you are or what you're up to or anything like that, and you're outside your spaceship, which is broken, so on an environment which, at least in my case, was hostile. So I had to make sure my exosuit was fueled, so I had to sort of go and get supplies and so on, and the game sort of prompts you at the beginning how to do that. So okay, survival is the first imperative, but what are you doing there? Why? There is a storyline to the game, but I'm pretty sure it's just an afterthought. The whole point of the game seems to be exploring, looking around, that sort of thing, which actually I quite enjoy. It reminds me of the early Tomb Raider. There was not much shooting and rubbish. You just went down into these caves in the mountains, and okay, you shot the occasional wolf or something, but basically you were exploring, and that was good fun. And that aspect of this game is really good. It's great. You can explore in space, go from system to system, you can go from planet to planet. There are space stations where you can do some trading if you want to. There are other spaceships whose meaning I haven't worked out. I guess they're some of the other alien races. Why there's a lone human in this vast universe, I don't know. The other creatures, well, the ones I've seen seem to be completely humanoid as well. Anyway, the intelligent types. Or, I don't know if they're intelligent, they're kind of like robots, really. And they're not very interested in interacting. In fact, nobody is. You can trade or something, but there's no like, how's your day been, and where are the girls? None of that. Okay, it's just have you got some rocks? Let's see. Oh, I'll buy those. You know. How much is your spaceship? It's a bit strange, really. It's like there's no social element to the game really at all. It's like being at work, frankly. Everybody's an acquaintance, if you don't mind me saying so. It's not the same as... There's no close personal friends in the game, let's put it that way. It's like being British, I suppose. So, you're there on this planet, and you've got to fix a few things to survive, but what are you going to do? There is sort of an objective in the game to get to the centre of the galaxy, but you don't have to do it, and frankly, I strongly suspect it's a waste of time. And I might just spend my time exploring and wandering around and, things like that, because I much prefer that. I can't imagine anything that will be interesting in the centre of the galaxy. I might get there one day by default, I don't know. I'm in the Euclid galaxy, I don't know how many galaxies there are. And I actually restarted the game a couple of times because I had to change my resolution settings and so on, and each time I started on a different planet. The one I ended up on was a bit more hostile than the one I started on, but I survived. On these planets, as well as some alien artifacts and strange creatures and plants and stuff, and minerals, there are shelters and monuments left by alien races who are not, as far as I can tell, historic. They're still around, they're just not interested, it seems, I don't know. So I'll go and visit their monuments maybe and see if I can build up my standing with them and see if it amounts to anything. Again, I suspect it doesn't, and I'm just going to be this lone human in this vast universe with no meaning or purpose to my life. A bit like real life, actually. If you're looking for a game that's going to entertain you with spoon-fed adventures, this is not the game. This is open world, literally. There you are. It's up to you what you do. What you can do is a bit limited. You can find stuff, you can build better kit, you can go to other planets, do the same. That's about it. Maybe you can learn some alien languages in word by word as well, or at least you learn it in theory. We humans, as a player, I don't learn the words. It just tells me I now know the Korvax word for toxic or something. Okay, and that's it. So okay, I know it apparently. So if they converse with me over time, I presume I will start to understand their conversations. Because when you meet the little robot creatures or whatever they are, they say stuff to you, and you have to kind of guess what they're saying. So if you know some words, I suppose it'll put it into some sort of context. I don't know. So if you like exploring, and if you like setting your own goals within the limitations of the game, which is essentially trading up, making money, identifying plants and animals and uploading them to the Galactic Encyclopedia, I don't understand why all these aliens who are all over the place haven't done it first. But I guess they're aliens, they're just not interested in encyclopedias. Maybe maybe they can't read, I don't know. They stand there with their little iPad, apparently just looking at it, just like a lot of people I know, actually, with their mobile phones. So in a way, the game can wind up as a lot of grinding. You get these minerals, you build some kit, you go to another planet, refuel your ship, go to the star station, do some trade, go to a planet, identify some stuff, mine some minerals with your zappy laser gun thingy. Repeat ad nauseam. I don't know how long it will take me to get bored. It might not be very long, but I do like exploring and looking around places. I mean, even in real life, I do my sort of travel videos and walking around London and looking at sights and stuff, so I don't get bored with that. So maybe it's kind of the same in the game, except in the game it's all made up. The game plays a little bit, slightly juddery on my computer, and quite a lot juddery when I upload, or when I'm trying to live stream it. I've had to change the settings a bit to make it work. I found that instead of using the 264 encoder on my open broadcast software, I need to use the NVENC, because I have an NVIDIA card. I brought the anisotropic filtering, whatever it is, smoothing down to 4 instead of 16. Everything down to normal instead of maximum. I've reduced the frame limit, although I'm not sure whether that's working or not. But I don't need more than 30 frames a second anyway, especially when streaming. I only stream 20 frames a second anyway. And I've kind of got it so it's watchable, as you'll see by the background image. Where is it? Here. It judges a bit, it jumps occasionally, but it's watchable. And on the computer it's much smoother than that. 8 gigabytes of RAM I think is what I've got. It recommends 16, and I'm like, okay, and it uses the CPU a lot. And to play I also have to set the affinity in the task manager, details, right click on nms.exe and choose affinity and turn off one of the CPUs, so that in my case 3 CPUs are used for the game and 1 is available for other things, including the streaming software. Because otherwise, especially when you're flying or something, the game maxes out all the CPUs and you're just frozen. But the streaming is frozen, the game plays. But streaming is something for YouTubers, I suppose. If you're playing, it doesn't matter. But don't expect your background tasks to run smoothly without doing something like that. On the planets as well, there are sentinels, which are kind of flying video camera things with guns, right? Little camcorders with guns, and they're annoying. And there are pirates in space. If you have too many valuables on your ship, the game will spawn some pirates, and you'll get shot at and stuff. And I kind of feel that's there just because they think such a game should have such things in it. It's there to give you someone to shoot at, basically, and I think it's a complete and utter waste of time and not enjoyable, not fun. I'm not interested. I would like the option to turn them off. Of course, I can't choose which universe I'm going to be spawned in or anything, and this happens to be the nature of this universe. It's got pesky sentinels all over the place, so when you're trying to mine minerals or stuff, they're liable to come and shoot you if they think you're stealing too much. On some planets they're very aggressive, and if you do anything much they will blast at you. On others they're not that interested, but if you do mine too much stuff, they'll come and investigate, and if you shoot while they see you doing it, you'll get shot at by them. You can shoot back and destroy them, but they will summon more powerful sentinels and then robots, and they've even got spaceships to chase you as well if necessary. And you will be killed or something, but you can hide out in a space station if you're lucky, or in a shelter. They won't shoot you in those places, or in your own spaceship, I think, when you're on a planet. But me, I tend to just avoid shooting while they're around. I can't be bothered with it really, who cares? I suppose I imagine that maybe I'm stealing somebody's property. Okay, this planet, I've just turned up here and I'm going to blow up the nearest mountain. I guess people would be a bit annoyed if someone came along and decided to mine Vesuvius or somewhere. It would be a bit annoying, right? So maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But to me, it's just an annoyance. I'm interested in exploring and doing stuff. I'm not interested in shooting some silly robots or pirates. Why are there pirates? There's aliens and civilization all over the place. Why are there pirates? And what is the nature of this civilization if the idea seems to be to just go around looting planets and shooting other spaceships and people and selling stuff? That's not really a civilization. A civilization builds monuments. A civilization builds cities. I don't expect I'm going to see any of that. There are space stations and spaceships, and little sort of Arctic-style cabins and shelters and stuff, and small monuments left by other alien species, but there's no cities or towns or anything like that. In the current version of the game, maybe they'll bring out some extras, I don't know. Possibly a future game will start to have all this sort of stuff in. This is maybe a second generation of this sort of game. You had Elite in the old days, in the 80s, and Elite Dangerous now, and this is like a step up on the exploration side. There's room for many, many more steps up to something which is really a full-on virtual reality. But as an exploration game, it's certainly engaging. Let me check my notes here. Well, is it worth £45, $60 or euros? To me, any game at that price is overpriced. £20 for me is just about bearable for a game. Any game. So for me, I wouldn't want to spend that money, but if you're getting it as a present or something like that, it's okay, it's playable, especially if you enjoy the kind of exploration, the kinds of things you're seeing in the background here. You will enjoy the game, and there's a certain sense of solitude and peacefulness and just going around and looking at stuff, which I do like in this type of game. As I mentioned, Tomb Raider. The newer Tomb Raider is too much shooting for me. Again, I'm not into that. If I want to join the army, I'll join the army and shoot some brown people. That's what they do, isn't it? And these shooting games, I think, are set to program you to do that, right? I have enjoyed shooting 'em up games in the past, but really these days they're all the same. Basically, I'm not interested anymore. There aren't so many good exploration games. The landscapes are strange. Some of them are more beautiful than others. The planets are all pretty wild. I would like to see some more mixture of civilized and wild planets, but I think in this game they're all going to be wild planets. Well, okay. Unless maybe at the centre of the universe I find a city planet, who knows? The one Trantor, like in Isaac Asimov's Foundation, I don't know. Is it worth it? Strictly speaking, no. But if you can get it cheap, or get someone else to buy it for you, it's worth it if you enjoy exploring and looking around and stuff like that. Okay. Put your thoughts below. Do you think it's worth the money? Do you think it's a good game? Do you think they should be spoon-feeding you more entertainment, or is exploration enough? And what about these sentinels? Can we just get rid of them or something? Okay. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye for now.